how's everybody doing? My name is Augie with VIP Playlist. I'm here with my wonderful co-host.
It's Adam, guys. What's up?
Yeah, today we have quite a talented individual. I would say introduce yourself and tell us all the things you do for the band, but you are the whole band. So just introduce yourself and the band.
I'm Chris, the Sound That Ends Creation, little mathcore project from Dallas, Texas.
Nice, nice. And dude, I have to say I watched a couple of videos of your live performances, and that is hella impressive.
Well, thank you, thank you. I feel like I've been getting better and better at it. Just this last tour, like really clicked like what I need to be doing. So, yeah, it's funny. I've done like I don't know, it's got to be like 160 shows at this point, and it was like
Damn.
just the last like 20 of them where it really like clicked with me what I need to be doing. So,
Yeah.
hopefully, going to be getting better and better as it goes along.
Well,
That's
that's,
awesome,
I
dude.
mean, dude, I gotta say, dude, like it's hard enough to like have a whole band up there and like put on a good show, and it's just you, a computer, and like a guitar.
Oh yeah, and the lights. Don't forget the lights.
Yeah,
I
and
have
the
a
lights,
lighting
man.
rig that I bring with me.
Like, holy shit, dude. And I mean, it's pretty entertaining I mean, you're the one man band, but I mean, it's pretty sick. I enjoyed watching those live performances. So
Oh, I appreciate it. I'm glad you
I
did.
like your little microphone setup.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, the Britney Spears mic.
Yeah, yeah. That's awesome, man. Um, and I also wanted to bring up too the fact that like so your first album was 2016. That's when I
Mhm.
think that's when I clocked. When did you start this project? 2016
Uh,
or
yeah, probably. I don't think I did anything in 20. I don't think I like wrote anything in 2015. Um, really, where it comes from, if you're looking for like a brief little history or whatever, I did a bunch of one man projects like back in the day, probably starting in like 2008. Well, probably before that, more like 2006, I think. And I was working on a black and death metal project, and I got basically the whole album finished, and I just needed to do vocals. And then it just dawned on me that all that stuff sounded the same. Like all brutal death metal sounds the same, all of like black metal sounds the same. There's no like innovation, or there wasn't at least back then, at least to me. And
yeah.
when I was in high school, that's when like mathcore was really popping off, and I don't know, like it never like I didn't find it like attractive at the time, I guess.
Yeah.
I was like a big metal elitist. Like I was a guy, listening to like Emperor and like Cannibal Corpse and stuff, and
Oh shit, yeah.
like wearing like the shirt from Cannibal Corpse with like the fucking babies on it and shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Like wearing that shit to school and wondering why I didn't have a girlfriend. You know what I mean? So I thought that I was like this shit because I listened to Norwegian black metal and shit.
Yeah.
And I thought that anything with open up breakdowns was like for babies. So I just wrote all that shit off, and I would see like what the mathcore kids, like the way that they dress and stuff, the sisters' jeans and shit. And I was like, oh, I don't want to be listening to this. I don't want to be associated with these guys. And so in 2016, I was writing, black and death metal, and I just realized everything sounded the same. And I was like, I want to do something, original, something that like brings that fire back that used to, be in my belly. And
Yeah,
I was like, what were those kids listening to in high school, And I was like, oh, See You Next Tuesday. That's a band. And so I put on Parasite and instantly fell in love. And so that's like when I decided right then and there, I was like, okay, we're doing mathcore. So that's when the Sound That Ends Creation was born, was
I
from
got
listening
you.
to Parasite from See You Next Tuesday.
That's awesome, dude. That's sick as shit, man. And so all right, so here's my question. So you said no skinny jeans. So were you like the what are those pants called? Like with the chains and the black pants?
Oh,
Oh no,
Chains
no,
on,
no, no. I wasn't into
No?
that stuff too. I
Okay.
did have a phase where I like wore like super baggy jeans and shit.
Yeah.
When I was like in middle school or whatever. But I don't think I had like a style necessarily aside from like I think I had cargo shorts for a long time
No
and then
Jinkos, man.
transitioned into jeans. No what?
No Jinkos.
No, no, no. That wasn't my
Ah,
scene.
shit.
I feel like I was like slightly too young to be in the new metal scene. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
caught what was it? Slipknot's Subliminal Verses. Yeah, that was like the third one, right?
Yeah.
I listened to that, and I as like a guilty pleasure, I was into Linkin Park, but it never like went past that.
Gotcha.
I got you. So, how old are you? What age range?
I'm 32.
Okay, yeah, you're about the same age as us. Are you like the oldest child, middle child, youngest?
Oh, only child.
Only child? Okay, cool. That's what it is. So I had an older brother, and I actually
Yeah,
got
we both
his
There
have
you
older
go.
brothers.
I got his hand-me-down Jinkos.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the new metal shit, all that stuff. That's where I got into music was from him. So
Yeah, I learned all of my music from like what was it? Back in the day, I think it was Windows Media Player used to give you suggestions and shit.
yeah.
Or maybe it was something
Oh,
else, but
wow.
yeah, I think it was Windows Media Player, and they'd be like, "Oh, if you like this band, you might like this band or whatever." And so I would just go to like the local CD store and
Mm-hmm.
buy a CD from there, rip it to my computer, sell the CD back to them, get a new CD, repeat the process.
Yeah, dude. Hell
Hell
yeah.
yeah,
That's what I'm
dude.
talking
That's
about.
what we were doing, bro.
Yeah, dude. Oh yeah, man. Okay. So let's I wanted to so what was the idea behind like a one-man project? Is just you couldn't find bandmates or you just didn't want to have to deal with all that or
Uh, a little bit of both.
a little bit of both?
So I would do you can't see my fingers, but I would do in quotes bands that would have in quotes band practice, which would be at like some dude's garage, and it would happen one time and we'd never get back together.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all have had similar experiences or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, so
that happens a lot.
right. And like sometimes we'd even like come up with a couple of songs or whatever, and it would last 3 band practices
Oh
before it
shit.
broke up. But yeah, so I just got tired of like waiting on people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just started doing my one man stuff. There's a guy, oh my god, I'm missing his name now, which sucks. I wish I could remember it. But he had a project called Insidious Decrepancy. He also does I am pretty sure they're both dead now, but he does one called Viral Load as well. And I saw videos of him and found out he's a one man band and stuff. And I was like, if this guy could do it, then I could do it. Oh, Sean Whitaker, that's his name.
Okay.
But yeah, I was like, if he could do it, I can do it. And
There you
so
go.
I started doing
Yeah.
brutal death metal and stuff on my own.
Oh yeah, dude, that's sick, man. All right. All right, little backstory. And so for those that haven't heard you, I have described your sound as like a little bit of Arsonist Get All the Girls, a little bit of like I Wrestled the Bear once, and with like a hint of Primus.
Okay.
I don't know if that's accurate or not, but that's kind of what I got from it.
So first off, the EP from I Wrestled a Bear once, best thing that they put out as far as I know.
Mhm.
And it's amazing. That was definitely like a big influence, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
going into this. I've listened to Arsonist Get All the Girls, but like I wouldn't say I'm a fan necessarily. I guess it just didn't stick as much. I've listened to what was it? It was Gateways, I think was one of them, right? One of their albums, Like their big
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
like that.
I think
Yeah, so
that's
I listened to
right.
that one, and it didn't like I don't know, it just didn't hit me in the feels. And
Mhm.
I've listened to some amount of Primus, but I couldn't tell you the name of a song.
I think it's there's one song in particular that I have that starts off with like a definite Primus riff.
Okay.
I have to find the song, but it's like
There's a lot to comb through.
yeah.
Got a lot of music out there, man.
I know it. The Game of Life, by the way, that's the one from Arsonist Get All the Girls that I listened to, and I found them randomly. I think it was like a music video on Fuse or something.
That's one that I need to listen to. I just haven't like sat down and given it a shot.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
pretty sick. It's like the old mathcore shit. Like
Oh,
it's
the
really
album
good.
I listened to
Before-
is Portals, by the way. I just
Portals,
remembered.
not Gateway. Yeah, Portals.
Yeah, it was like mathcore before it had a definite genre name.
Yeah. Now, I was really into like Early Daughters was a big influence. Like what was it, Miss Machine era, I guess. Dillinger, that and Calculating, or not that one. What's the big one? Oh my God, I'm so stupid. The big Dillinger album right before
Ooh.
Miss Machine. Oh my God, how am I forgetting this? I'm gonna get clapped on socials for not knowing this.
Damn, you're not gonna be allowed back in the mathcore group, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Calculating Infinity. Yeah, that
Okay,
one
yeah.
was a big thing too. And like I said, See You Next Tuesday was really big for me.
Yeah,
So yeah, it was more like the grindier, noisier stuff. You know what I mean?
yeah, I
that
got you.
was that's where like the beginning influence came from.
Okay. Well, so before we get on this, let's go ahead and name your playlist, man. You got a name for us?
I have a naming convention, right? The sound that ends creation, the cast that ends creation. So this is obviously the playlist that ends creation.
There we go.
Perfect.
He's fine. My kitty's fiending for attention.
That's all right.
Yeah. All right, sweet. So we got this named, and now the first couple of songs we like to put on here is like, man, think back, like maybe parents or guardians or somebody showed it to you or something like that. Like just something that kind of stuck with you through all the years, like before you could pick your own music, whatever, like something that got you interested in actually listening.
I got you. I got you. I got this one on lock. So, when I would go to, when my mom would take me to like daycare and stuff like that, my mom's really into oldies. And so that would play on the radio all the time. So I'm a huge oldies head, like 50s era type stuff. Actually, that's where like a lot of like the singing on my new stuff, like that's where that idea is coming from, is like trying to match like Frank Sinatra or whatever, and like my dumbass way that can't really match that.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Yeah.
So song wise though, there's a lot of bangers. Oh, I got the perfect one actually. Oh my God, what's the fucking called though? Oh, You've Lost That Lovin' Feeling by who is that? One second, I'm looking it up on YouTube.
The Righteous Brothers?
Yes.
Daryl Hall and John Oates.
Yeah. The Righteous Brothers. Yeah. So whenever I do vocals, this is one of the songs that I warm up to.
Oh, nice.
You've Lost 11 Feel, because that dude's got that super deep voice, you know, and it's, I don't know, it just feels like it's good to stretch out the vocal cords with that, you know, and the other guy's so high, like, I don't know, it just kind of like covers the whole spectrum, and I don't know, it's just a great song, man.
Yeah. I was thinking, listening to your music, like the, you know, parts where you're screaming, I was like, this kind of has like a swing feel to it, like the way the delivery and like the way it sounds, so I can definitely see where you're coming from with that.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I was trying to bring like the oldies kind of aesthetic and like jazz and stuff like that into it.
Yeah. So you mentioned Frank Sinatra. What's funny about him, dude, is like I was sitting in the car the other day listening to one of these playlists, and somebody had added Frank Sinatra on there, and that song came on, and my son was there, and we started talking about Frank Sinatra, and I was like, you know, come to think about it, that dude was 1,000% a part of the mafia. 1,000%. He had to be in the mafia, dog. Like I just got to thinking about it, and all the, like the crowd he hung out with. I was like, dude, he was in the mafia, dog. 100%. Like there's no denying that shit.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, I actually looked it up, and it said he was being investigated for like mafia activity and shit. I was like,
yeah, it's crazy. Isn't it crazy to think that like that was like the hard music back in the day? You know what I mean? Like when he was just coming out.
Oh
like,
yeah, dude.
That's fucking crazy to think about.
Yeah, bro. There was like protests and shit about him and Elvis and all kinds of like, you know, all that shit. Like music. Like, damn. If only they could hear the shit that we're playing now.
Right.
That's crazy though, man. Okay, let's go. Let's move on into like your first first CD you ever bought, shit like that kind of music.
Hell yeah. So I'm trying to think. I don't know the first CD exactly. I know there were 3 CDs that I had that I spun like crazy. So we had Green Day's American Idiot, which I thought I was so fucking hard for.
I know, right?
Oh yeah, dude.
I had that one.
And like the music video with the big like green American flag and stuff. Like, he's such a fucking rebel, right? So that was a big one for me. Yellow Card. I forgot what the album was. It was the one. I think the cover is like they're in like a school or something. It's like right before Ocean Avenue, I think. Do y'all have any idea what I'm thinking of?
I was never a big Yellow Card fan, but it's
I'm going to rate your music. We're going to figure this out once.
Yeah.
There's Ocean Avenue, Southern Air, Here I Am Alive.
It is One for the Kids.
Okay.
So I spun the crap out of that. I can't even remember the songs that are on there, but I'm sure if they started playing, I would know. And then the one that really stuck with me, though, was the Killers' debut album.
Oh, yeah.
The Killers are fucking sick. I love the shit out of them. I know all of their albums, like every lyric or whatever up to Battleborn, which is where I kind of like stopped listening.
Yeah.
But dude, they're so good, and they tell like great like stories in their music and stuff. I don't know.
They are
Huge
very
fan
good
of the
storytellers for sure.
But yeah, if we're adding songs, I mean American. Well, hold on. What was the best one from American Idiot here?
That was a long album, dude.
It really
Yeah.
was.
Hold on, dude.
Oh no, it's
Uh,
only 9 songs. I thought it was didn't they do like a double release on that or some shit?
They probably had like a disc that had like bonus tracks and
Yeah,
shit. I think
that's
every
probably
band
right.
did that back in the day. But I was actually in quotes in a punk band. We did one talent show thing about a school, and one of the songs is was a Green Day cover. I don't remember which one we did. You probably have to just do Holiday, right?
Yeah.
That's a good
That's a
one.
good-
That's a
solid
good
choice.
choice.
Solid
ones
choice.
from there. But yeah, let's just go with Holiday. The Yellow Card one, I couldn't even tell you a song off of that, so
That's fine. You don't have to
worry
put
about
the yellow
that.
card. We'll do
But Mr. Brightside, obviously from the Killers album.
yeah.
Hell yeah. And then if we're going to first metal album, is that like the next thing?
Yeah, we can move on to that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the bridge.
So getting into metal, one of my friends played me Crazy Train once, and that was the first metal song that I heard.
Hey,
And
bro,
so
come
I was
on,
like,
man.
Let's go, dude.
so I was like, oh, Ozzy Osbourne, that's metal, right? So
Yeah.
go into like the Target or whatever the hell's around at the time and get his best of album. And the first song that plays off of that is Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath,
Right.
which I thought is just fucking sick. That's like one of the first metal songs ever written or whatever. And like that's my first like aside from Crazy Train, I guess that's like one of my first tastes is like the early of metal or whatever. I don't think
Yeah.
people can really say that. So I don't know. I like saying that type of shit. But
Dude, if you go
Yeah.
back, dude, and actually listen to that first album, dude, it holds up. Like it's not bad.
it's heavy
pretty
as
good.
hell.
Yeah.
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 That's like Ozzy at his finest too. I don't
Yeah.
like Ozzy's solo career as much. I feel like he's just a bad singer, but it works really well for like the doomy shit that Black Sabbath
yeah.
is doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Hell
next song has to be Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. I'll put Crazy Train on here just as like
No, that's cool too. Yeah,
your
yeah.
first one, and then Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath is sick as shit. And then it would just progress from there, man.
Let's see here. So where did it go after that? Okay, so there was a show that was on at the time called Battle for Ozfest. Do you remember that?
Like barely.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. So
barely. Yeah,
what
yeah.
it is, it was like a game show where these bands would send like a member or whatever to compete in various weird challenges during the all the stops at Ozfest, and they would kick person off the show every week, and the last person gets to have their band. I think it was open for the show or whatever for the next
Yeah.
like Ozfest. The band that won
Right.
was the Dozen Furies. Spoiler alert. They were from Plano, which is crazy.
Oh,
But
nice.
and then they broke up like immediately after they got off Ozfest, which is crazy. But anyway, so I was watching that show, and I think it was maybe the second episode or something, they brought Rob Halford on. And so I started getting into Judas Priest. And yeah, literally the second metal album I bought was Ram It Down. I don't know why I picked that one specifically, but yeah, that's my favorite Judas Priest album now because it's got so much nostalgia for me. And yeah, so we got to put Ram It Down from Ram It Down on the list, like 100%. Getting into heavier stuff though, starting then, and I did it for I think it was 2 years. I would buy a CD from every band that was on Ozfest that I could find a CD for. So I was starting to get into like Killswitch Engage and Slipknot and stuff like that. But when it really like clicked for me was, I guess Atreyu was probably the first big thing. I'm not even sure what
The
Ozfest
Curse
lineups look like now.
or what else?
Well, I don't know like the first like band that I bought from doing that, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
hold on.
Because I had that album. I had The Curse. That's like literally the only album that I know.
That was a good album.
Oh,
Yeah,
which
I
album
love
from them? Oh, it was
The Curse.
It was Curse. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
love that album.
Yeah, it was such a
Absolutely.
good album. Yeah.
Hell yeah, they're fucking sick. Yeah, I think it was yeah, 2004 is when I started doing this. So yeah, Atreyu the Curse is super great, and it was always like a guilty pleasure when I was like in my metal elitist era
Yeah.
that I'd sit down with that. That was sick. And yeah, this is the year with Slayer and stuff. So one day I went and bought a Slayer album and a Dimmu Borgir album. This is after listening to like Atreyu and Slipknot and Killswitch Engage, which are like, they're like heavy, but they don't have like that satanic imagery. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'd always like when I'm browsing through like the different sections looking for these bands, I would see like because Slayer had an album that was God Hates Us All, and the album cover is 3 upside down crosses. And my mom's like super religious and stuff, and so I would see that and I'm like, not ready for that. It's not time for this just yet. And one day I was like, I'm fucking doing it, man. And I got Slayer CD and Dimmu Borgir CD, and put them on, and I swear to God, dude, I thought I was gonna like raise a demon from hell or some shit. I don't know. It was fucking scary. Like listening to these bands and reading lyrics like God hates us all. Like it's fucking insane. And then doing me where Gears lyrics are pretty crazy too. And I don't know, it's just such a weird sound that I hadn't heard yet. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It was magic putting that shit in your CD player back in the day.
Oh yeah, dude. I bought the the Ozfest like it was like a what is that called? Like a compilation CD, I guess.
Oh hell yeah.
And there was a band on there, dude. It was like a Japanese band, I think.
What the fuck is it called? Chthonic? Is that it?
No, maybe it wasn't Chthonic. It was a different one. There was one, and like the lead singer would like cut the inside of his lips and like spit blood on the fucking stage as he was singing. Yeah, because I looked up the video of him doing it. I was like, what the fuck? But I don't remember the name of it, but the song was sick as fuck that was on that CD I bought. I don't remember what year it was. But yeah, it was a pretty sick ass band though. That's how I found like Strapping Young Lad too. Again, that man was sick as shit. Yeah. Strapping Young Lad, and yeah, dude, I don't remember the fucking name of that band. That sucks.
Do you remember the song or anything?
No, I can't even tell you the name of the song. I just remember that I watched that video and I was like, oh shit. This dude's serious, bro. I don't even remember what year it was, but yeah. Anyways, just a little memory that I had that you brought up when you mentioned Ozfest. But yeah, dude, that's sick as shit, dude. So let's go with some of the bands you mentioned. We got Atreyu. We can throw your guilty pleasure on there from back then.
Oh, what's that song from them? Oh my God. I can hear it in my head.
Right Side of the Bed.
Maybe.
There's Bleeding Mascara.
Or the Crimson.
Oh my God, there's so many good ones. Holy shit.
I mean, we could put all of those. Demonology and Heartache.
Can we just put the whole album on?
Right.
drag and drop, Augie.
Okay, it's Right Side of the Bed. I just played it from YouTube or whatever. Right
that
Side
one.
of the Bed.
That one's a pretty big single.
Yeah. And then
we have to do the Slayer one. God Hates Us All.
Yeah.
And then Bleeding Through was a big thing for me. Or I will say the first song and the second and the last song were big things for me because they had awesome what do you call those samples at the beginning of them.
Mm-hmm.
The first song on the album with like the heart on it. I don't remember what it's called. Is that one Love Lost or is that
Love Lost one? It was Love Lost and a Hail of Gunfire.
Yeah. That one. Dude, that one was big for me too.
Mm-hmm. That was a good album.
Disciple.
I thought it was
God Hates Us All was the name of the album. Disciple is the name of the.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bleeding Through. You said the first and the last song on that album?
Yeah, well, you can just do Love Lost. Love Lost and Hail of Gunfire.
Okay,
yeah.
I remember that album too. I think, dude, I just saw a thing. I think they're actually touring for that album.
Yeah.
Because
right?
it's 20
Isn't that
years.
crazy?
It's 20 years. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
20 fucking years, bro.
It's wild. Like they've had such a long career, but honestly, that's the only album that I've ever heard from them.
It's same.
You know what I mean?
It is. Yeah, same.
And, like, I never seen them. Like I think I might have seen like a poster promoting them like once or twice, like promoting new stuff, but like I don't know. I can't even think of like too much promotional stuff they put out for other albums.
Yeah, I can't either. They just released a single, but I don't. To be honest,
did they? Oh, okay. I didn't even know that.
They released like an EP. Okay, 2018, 2012. They released an album, and then they didn't release anything else until 2018. So
That's crazy. Like I feel like those guys could have been like way bigger, you know?
oh yeah, dude.
Like if
Well,
you're gonna keep being a band for that long, like you should be dropping stuff like crazy, you know?
there's a lot of bands like that, that I only know one album from.
Did you guys ever listen to Undermined?
Yeah.
Nah.
No.
Undermined. They have what was the name of that song, dude? Kind of like a body bag. Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen up, all you VIP peers.
And VI players.
Goddamn Patreon now.
Getting so aggressive.
I did.
We have a Patreon now.
Yeah, motherfuckers.
And a Discord.
Yeah.
And a YouTube.
Discord. Come
But
join
no webcams yet.
No webcams. You can't see our beautiful face.
Not yet.
Yeah. Shout out to Enormous Adam on Discord. Hit him up if you need a Discord. He did a great job on ours. It looks cool. But guess what? You won't know how it looks unless you join that bitch. If you would, please join our Discord and our Patreon. It would be really cool of you. We would love you forever. We'd still love you forever, even if you don't.
Yeah.
But
you join the Patreon, you're going to get stickers. You get to dehumanize me.
Yes.
You want to know what that means?
Go look at the Patreon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's it.
That's
and
it.
subscribe to our fucking YouTube channel.
Yeah. Comment.
Thank you.
Review. Subscribe. We love you more.
All that stuff. Do everything that you do for all the people that you love on YouTube. Do it for us too.
Yeah.
Thanks.
We love you. How did you, since you're a kind of a one-man band, how did you, when did you start playing guitar?
So I always wanted to be a vocalist. I didn't want to play instruments and shit because I like getting in people's faces, I guess. Yeah. So then, but every band that quote band that you would do or whatever, it would just fall apart after one or two practices. So I just picked up the guitar from there. I didn't take a lot of time to learn stuff. I probably should have started with chords and stuff, but I found out a power chord is pretty badass. So I was like, okay, this is all I need, right? And I didn't even know about palm muting strings and shit like that. So yeah, I just started making stuff off of that, and eventually learning things as I went along. And I still don't know everything I probably should know. I know a little bit of theory and stuff like that, but yeah, just basically self-taught probably around 2004. Oh, not 2004, probably 2005 or 6ish is when I picked it up.
Okay. I read some of the comments on your videos. So do you play piano or all the other instruments?
They're all programmed. The guitar, bass, and vocals are real. Everything else is programmed.
Gotcha. Okay. My favorite thing was that one of the comments said, "I would like to see a piano player trying to play this live." And somebody was like, "Yeah, you're gonna have 3 or 4 of them sitting on the same bench to play this." I think that was on a YouTube comment. I was like, damn, that's funny. Because the piano's just going off, man.
Yeah, it's cool to have some amount of realism or whatever, but if it's all programmed, you might as well lean into it.
Yeah, do what you want, man. Yeah, that's sick, dude. It all sounds good. I think that's the main part. One of our favorite albums is the old Awabo album, what's the name of that album with Krista?
Oh God, It's All Happening, maybe?
Yeah. Oh, that one's sick too.
Yeah, that one. And that's kind of the vibes I get from it, tastes like Kevin Bacon, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Stuff like that is that's kind of what I got from it. So it was sick as shit, dude. Just taking me back to that old MySpace mathcore.
Hell yeah. Don't take yourself super seriously type of shit.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. I like music where there's no rules. And so when I found mathcore and realized that if there's barely anything holding the genre together, right? It's all about not playing in 4/4. That's what the genre is. It's just don't play 4/4, but you could do whatever the fuck you want. And there's such a huge spectrum of bands that are considered mathcore, so there's really no rules or whatever. So
I think if you're looking at the math genre in general, not even just core, but just math rock all the way to core, you have bands like Chon and Polyphia that are considered that are more structured and I don't know how to say it, but beautiful. Yeah, it's pretty and everything like that. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, you have bands like you and the Calistal Boys and shit like that. So
it gets all the way to super disgusting stuff like Frontier and Meth Witch and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a very broad music genre, and I mean, I dig it. I dig all of it. So let's get you mentioned a couple of shit at the beginning here. So stuff like Daughters.
So getting into that. Well, I mean, I don't know if are you trying to like do the evolution to
Oh,
like
we can
Sound That Ends creation or
if
like
that's
throughout the
skipping, then
life?
let's
Oh, okay,
continue on with the
okay.
evolution. Yeah, if I don't want to skip too much, though.
No, you're good. You're good. Let me see here. I think so. It must be right there. Okay, yeah. So coming into, I was going to ninth grade at this point. I was born in 1990, so it'd be 2009 is when I'm going to ninth. Right?
Hmm.
No, that's not. That's not right.
Ninth grade would be like 2005,
God.
5,
2006.
something like
Okay,
that.
2005, 2006. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And like LimeWire was like taking off.
yeah,
And I think it was around before that, but this is the first time that I was really getting into it. So that just like opens up the doors and you could find all kinds of crazy shit. Like being a kid or whatever, uh it's like you're opening up an entire new world, finally being able to listen to like Norwegian black metal and like, these weird obscure bands. Well, today's standards, it wouldn't be weird and obscure, but like back then it was like, I don't know, like you found something that nobody else has ever found in the
yeah.
world or whatever. So I think the first band that I really ripped from there, I'm not sure how it got to this, but Finn Troll's what Troll Hammerin'? That was like I love that fucking song, man. Still, dude, have you heard that
I have not.
from
No.
Finn Troll? Oh, dude, it's
Yeah,
a
I'll
great
have to check
great
it
song.
out.
It was like a meme before there were memes. You should definitely check that one out. Um, but yeah, then I got into like Bathory and what was that? Oh my God, Dark Throne. I actually got made fun of because I showed a kid Dark Throne and he thought that was the dumbest thing he'd ever heard. What
That's
was the
funny.
song that I showed him? It was off of Transylvanian Hunger, um, which is still like their best album, I think. But you know, let me see here. Oh, I think it was just straight up Transylvania Hunger is the name of the song too. Yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah, yeah. So Transylvanian Hunger from Dark Throne should be on there. And Troll Hammerin' from Finchel should definitely be on there. Oh, and then fucking Emperor, man. I found Emperor and that was like a big eye opener too. Are y'all like familiar with black metal at all or
No,
Not a whole lot.
not a whole lot.
gotcha. You probably shouldn't be because there's a lot of problematic bands out there. But we're not gonna put any of the problematic ones up here.
Yeah, yeah. I'm familiar with the problematics, like the shit that they went through with a lot of what was that big band name? Damn it. What's his name? I don't remember. Anyway.
So Emperor's got this sick song, Cosmic Keys to My Creations and Times. It was like a huge thing for me too.
All right.
Um, and yeah, at the time I was still listening to like borderline like weirdo death metal stuff like Cattle Decapitation is like a perfect example. Their album Karma Bloody Karma, to me it's still one of the best albums of all time. You should put I don't know which song would be a good one for that one though. One second, let's see what we got here. But yeah, I feel like they've gotten like way too like I don't know, deathcore I guess is a good way to put it, but they're not really deathcore. I don't know. They're just
Yeah.
not as interesting. Unintelligent Design from Cattle Decapitation, Karma Bloody Karma. It's the first song off of the album too, and I actually played a show with Cattle Decapitation, Devourment, and stuff as one of my like, solo death metal bands, and I was screaming Unintelligent Design through their entire set, and at the end of it, the vocalist, I forget the dude's name, looks at me, he's like, dude, we don't even know how to play that one. I'm like, son of a bitch. Like that was that's just a good memory, like, But yeah, Unintelligent Design from Cattle Decapitation definitely needs to be in there. Was getting into Black Dahlia Murder. Miasma. I didn't go past Miasma. I probably should have, but I don't know. I just lost interest. I have this weird thing, like I'll listen to an album and think it's fucking sick from a band, and I'll just never follow up. Do y'all do
Yeah.
that?
Sometimes it just depends. I've done that a lot with there's a couple bands like Parkway Drive and like Bleeding Through was one of them that I did that with and shit like that. Yeah, but there's sometimes I'll hear a band and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna check out their whole discography, and I do. So it just depends
So
on.
I what I do is like I'm not an elitist, but I don't know. Augie would be able to describe it maybe better, but it boils down to like I like what I like. So if I find a one-off song from a band that I've never heard of and I really like the song, like I have to be I don't know, I have to just get a certain feeling for it because then I'm like if I go listen to the rest of it and I don't like it, then I'm not gonna like this song either, even though I just liked it. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
No, I
don't
gotcha.
think
I gotcha.
I don't think it does, but it's just I don't know, dude. I'm
Adam
real
likes to listen to albums, so like if
I'm
he
real
can find a good
weird,
album,
dude. I don't know.
yeah, you find a good single, and then you find that if that single is on a great album, then
Yeah,
it makes it better.
yeah.
But yeah, so I'm Charming from Miasma by Black Dahlia Murder. One of my favorite songs still is. They're so good at like rhythms, I guess is a good way to put it. It's not like I don't know, I don't know how to describe it exactly. I guess it's maybe just my first time listening to melodic death metal because that's basically what they're doing. But yeah, I don't know. They were on the forefront, I feel like, of like pushing the
Yeah, for
music
sure.
style forward. You know what I mean?
It's like that, almost like that galloping rhythm.
Okay, yeah,
Does that
yeah.
make sense? Yeah, but like the drums are fucking sick as shit too.
They were
So,
good at like making it catchy, I guess is a good
yeah,
way to put it.
yeah.
And then there's on the like heavier side, there's this band called Circle of Dead Children. Have y'all heard them?
I have not.
Dude, they're it's as brutal as the name sounds. They have an album called Human Harvest. One of like the best grindcore brutal death metal things you'll hear. It's so good because most grindcore is just like super fast or whatever, and they
Yeah.
just don't slow down. These guys like have breakdowns and stuff. I feel like it's like proto deathcore or whatever, because this is still before all that stuff like took off.
Yeah,
They have a song called Destiny of the Slug. So it's Circle of Dead Children. Album is Human Harvest. The song is Destiny of the Slug. Excellent, excellent fucking song. Oh my
Hell
god, I
yeah,
love
dude.
the Human Harvest. It's one of my favorite albums like ever. They're so freaking good, and it was like the basis of what I did a lot of like the brutal death metal stuff off of back in the day.
There was a band around here that got signed. We talk about them quite a bit because it's like the only band that got signed out of our small town. They're called A Bullet for Pretty Boy.
I think I've heard that name before.
Yeah, back in like '08, like MySpace era type shit. Well, the lead singer, before he was in that band, he was in a grindcore band. And
Okay.
I cannot tell you
Yeah,
the name
yeah.
of it, but we saw him live one time, no bassist. It was just him and two other dudes, and that was the fastest shit I've ever heard in my life, because I was
That's
not
sick.
familiar with the genre at all. But we got up there and ripped it though, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what the next step was. Um, I know I got pretty heavy into Mastodon, but I wouldn't say that
Ooh,
was like
Mastodon's pretty sick. I like the my extent of like grindcore and death metal and shit like that goes from like whatever I found on MySpace. So
yeah,
you're talking about bands like Jump for a Cowboy and like, of course Iwabo and shit like that. I know it was more than Job. I just can't think of the name.
I
But
dabbled a
Jump for a
little in
Cowboy,
like Chelsea Grin.
Chelsea Grin, yeah.
But
Of course,
it was
Bring Me the Horizon's first album was
oh yeah, the
like
first couple.
God,
Yeah.
the
See,
best.
when Job for a Cowboy came out and like all that like started up, it was like I stopped listening to like core music, I guess. Like I don't know, after the first generation of like deathcore bands came out. So I know
Mhm.
some of it. Like I listened to from a second story window, their first thing. I think it was called Delinda. No, is it Delinda? I think it's Delinda. Remember listening to that in high school and then just like never listening to it again until like I found mathcore again. And yeah, I listened to like Job and Winds of Plague or
Winds of
whatever.
Plague,
Winds
yeah.
of Plague,
Yeah.
yeah.
So like
And
I just
then-
went to the Joffrey Cowboy like fans also like page, and I know at least one song from almost every band on here. So like Impending Doom, Acacia Strain,
Oh my
Yeah.
God, yeah.
it was Oceano, Suicide
yeah.
Silence,
Yeah, see, I'm
Blood Run
familiar with all these
Blacks.
bands and like
Yeah.
I know a couple of songs, but I never did the deep dive into
It
them.
was like their most popular songs, I'm sure, like the catchiest ones that
Yeah.
they put out to the
Waking the
masses.
Cadaver.
Yep, I know that one. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
that one.
That's
Probably
that shit
ones
still
that-
fucking slaps.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's probably songs that were on like compilation albums because you had a lot of
yeah.
those.
I bought a lot of compilation albums.
Did y'all
Yeah.
ever I don't know if y'all went to shows back when all that stuff was popping off, but did you ever get the compilation CDs that Victory Records would pass out at big shows?
See, we didn't start going to big shows until we were a little older.
Gotcha.
They, go ahead.
We had a what do you call it? Community center in Plano actually. I don't know if you've heard of Third String Productions.
Yep.
I have, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So they started by doing community center shows in Plano. And so we, the high school kids got all like the flyers and shit like that. And so once every month they would throw these huge fucking shows, like festival size shows, like big fucking things, which is crazy because I guess like, it's all the kids that parents won't let them go into like a city or whatever.
Yeah.
So Victory Records would pass out samplers and stuff there. And I remember getting one of them, and one of them had a DVD in it, which I was so hyped to get that fucking DVD. And this
That's
was
cool.
before I was getting the like really heavy shit. And I put it on, and what's the fucking Between the Buried and Me, their
God,
song
yeah.
Mordecai came up, and it was the first time I'd heard death metal, and Mordecai just scared the fuck out of me. Like, and the music video is so like disorienting, and I don't know, just the way that like it was put together, it terrified me, and
Yeah.
that was like so when I think of like MySpace like days, that's one of like the one of my core memories or whatever.
Dude,
was
I bought
listening to Mordecai.
the album Colors on a whim because I saw somebody with
yeah.
the Alaska hoodie shirt on, and I was like, yeah, I see that hoodie everywhere. I need to check these guys out. So I bought, but they didn't have Alaska, they only had Colors. So I bought that album. That was the most insane shit I've ever heard in my life because of how many like transitions in each song they did. It would go from like straight up piano phone hold music, like I'm on hold on the phone, to fucking just the hardest breakdown ever, dude. It was just sick as shit.
Mhm.
See, I was a big Alaska guy. That was my thing. Selkies is still one of my favorite songs, and
I'll
from
throw
what I
that on that
understand,
too,
they
yeah.
fucking hate playing it. So
Oh shit!
I doubt that I'll ever hear it.
So, me and Adam, we grew up in like a small town, and like this has never happened again because I'm still in the small town. Adam moved to Dallas, of course, but this has never happened again in our town. Where from the years like 2004 to like 2010, so for that like little 6-year time frame, there was a bunch of like deathcore, metalcore, grindcore bands, and they would always throw shows. We actually had this happen like 3 years in a row where they did a death metal fest at the bowling alley. It was like a 3-day fest, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And all these bands from Dallas and everywhere came to our bowling alley and put on these badass shows. And like it died and it went away. But we had like the coolest band names. There was one called We Walk Like Snails.
Yeah.
Fucking there was one called like what was the one that you like, Give It Up for Gavin?
Yeah.
There
Yeah,
was a
there's
bunch of cool shit.
bands, dude.
Yeah. A bunch of
I
cool
just-
shit.
I was just thinking about it. Like we went to a bunch of local shows, and then my
Yeah.
first big show, it was a Taste of Chaos, but it was the weirdest lineup. It was Pierce the Veil, Thursday, Bring Me the Horizon, and 4 Year Strong.
Yeah.
That's my first show ever, and I came to Dallas for that. Like I think I was old and like I was 18 or 17 or something, but my mom didn't trust me driving to Dallas. So we're from like nowhere, Texas. She was
Mhm.
like, "You're not going to fucking like Dallas
Yeah.
on your own." So like we somehow roped in one of my cousins that doesn't listen to any of that to like drive me over there, and yeah, it was. I mean, it was
How big
awesome.
of a drive?
It's only 2 hours away.
Yeah,
Like, I'll get
2
a
hours,
couple
yeah.
of hours away from us.
Yeah.
Only
like
2 hours.
2.5,
Yeah.
something like that.
It's a
Yeah.
long ass drive, man. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I do it. I mean, I make it all the time, dude, because my parents still live.
I
up
mean, I
there,
could
so
make
go.
it, but like, God, it's a long way to drive for a show. But I
Yeah.
guess if you've never been to like, a big thing or whatever.
Yeah.
you
Well,
wanna go out there at all
now it's just down the road.
I think
But-
my first big show was it was Under Oath.
Not a bad one.
Every time it was Under Oath was the headliner.
Yeah.
I think Every Time I Die opened, and there was another band like Advent, and I've never heard anything else from them. But yeah, Every Time I Die and Under Oath, and that was a great show. And then
yeah.
I think the same year I also went to Warp Tour, so like 07. I went to
Oh,
Warp
sick.
Tour.
So, I'm not sure what you would consider a big show because those Plano Center shows were pretty big. But my first show where it was like a stadium kind of thing. Well, not it was like half a stadium kind of thing. I saw Judas Priest with what did they call it? It was Black Sabbath with Dio, Heaven and Hell,
Okay.
and
okay.
they had Motorhead and
dude.
Nice.
Testament.
That's a huge show. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's
massive.
It was
Are
pretty
you
fucking
kidding
sick.
me?
It was pretty
Where
sick.
was that at?
God,
It
what
had
do
to
you
be
call
in,
that?
like-
It was in Dallas at their what the
It had
fuck
to be
do
at
you
their
call it?
like a stadium.
Yeah, I want to say I don't know what it's currently called because those things change hands so many times. I want to say it was called like Smirnoff something
Yeah.
back
Okay.
then.
Oh,
not
are you talking
totally
about it's called like Dos Equis Pavilion now?
Maybe I don't know. I don't really
Where like
keep
the
up.
fairgrounds are?
Yeah.
Oh,
where the
yeah. So I
fairgrounds
think it's like Dos Equis. I think it's Dos Equis Pavilion. It changes like every like year.
are. Right,
you get a
right.
different sponsorship every year.
It's still Dos Equis Pavilion. So Augie, it's where we went to go
We went
see
to Incubus and Deftones.
Incubus. Yeah.
Hell
Bro, Motorhead, let me tell you something. Lemmy was the hardest looking and sounding motherfucker I've ever seen. Dude, that motherfucker looked like he's seen some shit in his day, bro.
Oh, I'm sure, man.
I loved Motorhead though, man. His
Uh,
fucking voice was sick.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I was super glad that I got to see Dio because he died like a year after that or something.
Oh, yeah.
shit.
And
Yeah.
and I was a big Dio fan too. I
Yeah.
loved like all of his albums. He's a great guy.
Dio was definitely a legend, man. Dio and Ozzy and all them. Let's I've got a couple wrote down, but let's take a break from that. Let's talk about some your music, man. So let's talk
Okay.
about you've got your new album coming out.
Yeah, September 1st, is it?
Yep, it's called Exactly What You Thought, but Worse Than You Imagined.
Yeah.
I guess when this comes out, it'll be out. So yeah, go out and buy some.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, the music video for your first single is Why Are Cops Stinky?
Yeah. Oh, why are cops so
Cops so stinky.
So
Sorry.
stinky.
And you got your Officer Doofy cosplay. The whole time I was watching that video, I was like, man, this reminds me of Officer Doofy from the scary movies. I don't know
I'm
if you've
not.
seen
I've
those.
seen Scary Movie, but I'm not familiar with the guy that you're talking about. I'm gonna look
Oh
him
my
up now.
God, yeah.
Officer
Yeah.
Doofy. Is
Yeah.
it Duffy?
I think so.
Oh no, I see it. Now it's autocorrecting. Hold on. Officer Doofy.
Yeah, Officer Doofy, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I see where you're getting that from. Yeah.
So
The
tell
little
us a little
star
bit.
badge, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the album and like, because we only got to hear one song off of it and it seems, a little bit different, but
Yep.
still, keeping your core sound. So could you like explain a little bit the progression there?
Right. So I've been like I would say pretty brutal, like hard to listen to grind project for a while.
Uh-huh.
On Boomers, I don't think I tried to make it more like listenable at that point, but
Yeah.
I definitely added in like a bunch of piano and stuff and tried to make it more jazzy and stuff. And we can go through like the full like evolution if you wanted to or whatever. But on Unicorn Laser Bubblegum City, I tried to make it because I started touring when Boomers came out. And
Okay.
like I could see people's reactions and things like that. And a lot of the time they would just stand still and just look at me. And I'd have to like kind of guess whether they were actually into this or not. And
Yeah.
most of the time afterwards, like you get people come and be like, oh, I was sick or, stuff like that. But I don't know, when you're playing and nobody's like really reacting and stuff, it feels like everybody hates what you're doing.
It's a little awk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So on Unicorn Laser, I tried to, make it a little bit easier to react to, I guess is a good way to put it. And it was like it got better reactions and stuff out on tour and stuff. But I feel like it could have been even catchier and stuff. So on this album, I've worked with song structure more. focus more on like the catchy parts, and instead of making it like an insane like brutal thing, it's more, I would say, more listenable now. It's got a lot more like noise rock elements, I guess is a good way to put it. Yeah, it's like something I want, like people should be dancing the whole time to it, is the main
Gotcha.
point. But yeah, as far as like lyricism goes and stuff, and like the meaning behind things, it's super political. I'm a very political
Yeah.
person. I could talk about politics for a long time. So yeah, a lot of it's about just how crazy politics and stuff is right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of it's not as topical as it was when it came out. Like, I don't know if you looked at my song names for this album, but I got a song called Tucker Carlson Loves M&Ms. And I mean, he's like not even really like a figure too much anymore. So
Yeah.
a little late on that one. But yeah, I feel like it all still kind of applies to what's happening currently.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
funny,
For
dude.
sure.
That's awesome. How do you go about writing these songs? Is it like things pop up in your head and you just immediately have to write them down, or do you like sit down and dedicate time to write, or how does that work?
So when I'm out doing things, obviously like things like pop into my head, and I'd have to quickly like pull out my phone and pull out like the voice memo app and try to like do my version of what a guitar sounds like
Right.
with my mouth. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I actually have a bunch of these memos like saved.
A lot of people do that, man.
Oh
That's
yeah, it's
awesome.
the only way you can do it. Otherwise, you're gonna forget. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I would do that. But the main inspiration, so what I've been doing from Boomers forward is the way I start out a song is I'll take a jazz song, particularly swing jazz. Actually, one of the bands that I really like doing this with was a band called oh my God, what was it? Six Piece Sextet, I think is what it's called, or
That sounds
something
familiar.
like that. Fuck, I forget the name of them. But anyway, they're kind of like a current jazz project. Anyway, so
Is
I
it
would
the
take
Six
songs.
Piece Suites?
Nah, it's something. It's something like Hot Jazz Swing Quartet, Sextet, maybe. I don't remember now. I can look it up. But oh, now it's gonna bother the hell out of me. Oh my God, hold on. Uh, I'm probably not gonna find this. Oh, Hot Swing Sextet. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there we go. That's exactly them. Hot Swing Sextet. They're amazing. You should definitely check out the albums. But it's like swing jazz. So like if you're not into like chill swingy stuff, you're probably not gonna like it. Anyway, so I would take songs like that, speed it up twice, try to copy that onto my guitar as best as I could. Obviously, it's not a full copy. It's not supposed to be. It's just supposed to catch like the rhythm basically.
Yeah.
And then I would sketch out drums to that. Then I would go back through and refine like the guitar and change it up, but keep like a similar like feel, I guess. And then would just start finishing out the drums and then move on to piano and horns and then vocals ultimately. After so I put out memes where I didn't do that, and doing it this way helps me like figure out how to break up the instruments. I don't know. So a lot of people don't catch it, but I definitely did. When I did memes, all the instruments were basically playing the same note at the same time, and it was, I don't know, it wasn't good like separation. Like you couldn't pick out a single instrument aside from the guitar, but just because the guitar was louder.
Yeah.
So for Boomers, I was trying to separate it so that like if you were actually listening, you could pick out a new thing every time you listen to it. And then I did that way more for Unicorn Laser. And this time around, I've changed up the writing process a bit. And so it's essentially a similar thing, but instead of starting with the guitar, I start with the keys. And then I find like because like the piano, it's very basic. If you listen to like my other stuff, obviously you were just talking about, I don't know if it was on while we were recording or before, but you're talking about how like there was a YouTube comment saying that you need like 3 people to play it or whatever.
Yeah.
But this time around, I'm trying to make it sound more I don't know, realistic, I guess is a good way to put it.
Yeah.
So I would essentially do what I did on the guitar with the piano, and then go back through and find actual chords. And I spent a lot of time like making it sound like real, I guess. Like I don't know, messing with velocity. so it sounds more like someone actually putting their fingers on it as opposed to what I was doing the other time, which is slamming the velocity. So it sounds like someone's like, breaking the keyboard.
Yeah.
So just trying to make it more chill sounding, like an actual swing jazz band, just like with distortion and shit, I guess is a good way to put it. But yeah, so I would like sketch out the piano, sketch out the drums, sketch out guitar, go back through, make the piano like better, prettier or whatever, I guess is a good way to put it, or more full, and then do that with the drums, and then do that with the guitar again, and it would just progressively get more, I guess, finished as time went on. So yeah, this one took me like about a year to finish, whereas opposed to the other ones were like 6 to 8 months. So
I got you.
I put a lot more work into this one. Yeah,
I think, like I said, you can definitely tell. So from "We Are the Burden" to your latest release, your latest single, it is getting more and more, I guess you could call it digestible.
Yeah.
Whereas, like you said, the instruments were just all smashed together, and now the instruments kind of have their own purpose. And starting with like boomers and unicorn lasers. And it's not to say that I didn't like the other stuff, but it is getting more. That's a very niche style, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas now it's getting more sharp and
I like to
digestible.
say some music requires like different levels of like listening stamina, right? Like
Yeah.
there's certain bands that I'm not just like we did that we reviewed D-Louse in the Comatorium by the Mars Volta. Like I'm not just gonna throw that on to have in the background. Like
No, yeah.
I have to sit down and like I'm gonna listen to this and experience it. And so different music I think requires different levels of like listening stamina.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I did so "We Are the Burden" is more of your like you can definitely tell you were still maybe like into the death metal, black metal type shit, because it is more of that sound, to whereas you started breaking through to the mathcore stuff and fitting through. And I really liked the Music Designed to Give You Ideas album.
Hell yeah.
That album was sick. And of course, Memes, Unicorns, Boomers, and your latest single. All from there forward, I think you started to really come into your sound and be comfortable with it.
Yeah.
With what you were doing.
Yeah, so like "We Are the Burden," that was like I probably started doing like writing that maybe a week after I heard "See You Next Tuesday" and like started diving into all this stuff. So it was like just this mishmash of like random mathcore sounds I had heard and stuff like that, because I was getting a lot of like inspiration or whatever. It had to have been finished in like a month or something, probably less. It's I feel also the recording production is very, very bad too. But
yeah, it's not the worst I've heard. It's still listenable.
Well, thank you for saying that, but I feel like it's unlistenable. But what do you call it? The next one, "Fitting Through." I was getting more into like the grindier stuff. I've actually had people tell me that that's their favorite album, which I don't know how that's possible, but okay. And yeah, so I was making it more straightforward, like math grind. Like I called myself math grind for a long time. Then "Roses and Thorns," I was trying to add more of like the sassier aspect into it. I was really big into See Space Cowboys EPs that they put out.
Oh yeah,
are you familiar with that band?
Yes,
okay,
absolutely.
Dude, the EPs are the best part of that band. I like their newest album a lot too, but the EPs were the fucking sweet spot. Oh my god, they're so good.
Yeah.
Actually, Connie's is it Scarbassa? I don't know how you say her last name, but she did the album cover for "Roses and Thorns." So
oh wow,
that's pretty cool. But yeah, then what was
it looks like her artwork.
Yeah. She's great person to work with too. But then we have Music Design, and it's Music Design, right?
Yeah, Music Designed to Give You Ideas, in case you run out of ideas. In case you should run out of ideas.
Tell you. But yeah. So I wanted to. Okay, so every mathcore band, like I was saying, that they're all joined together by just not playing 4/4.
Yeah.
And every one of them has like a different twist for the most part. There's definitely bands that have like that are like stuck in like the Converge sound or the Dillinger sound or whatever. But for the most part, every band has like their special twist. And so I was like, what's my special twist? And I was thinking it'd be really sick to be able to like kind of incorporate some like oldies sounds or whatever. But at the time, I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. And so I was like, let's just like throw piano in there or whatever. Like it'd be, weirdo math grind with piano. And so I did that, and that's where music design came from. Actually, when I was doing that, I found the band that would ultimately give me my inspiration moving forward, a band called Lefty Fish. Have you heard of them?
Have not, no.
Mm-mm.
Doesn't surprise me. They're from Indonesia, and they basically do what I'm doing, but with a full band.
Okay.
And it's so fucking good. Holy shit. Everybody needs to go listen to Lefty Fish. They have an album called Hello Kitty Spank. If we're doing like the evolution of myself, there's definitely stuff that comes before this, but for the Sound That Ends creation, they're a huge part of like why I'm doing this. Let me try to get a song real quick while I'm thinking about it. I can't say which one my favorite is. Let's say probably Catching the Eels. They have a song called that. But yeah, amazing band. Everybody should listen to them. They're so fucking good. Anyway, so I did music design, and then getting into Memes Dreams, I was like trying to do the Lefty Fish thing, but I still didn't really know what I was doing. That's why all the notes were basically the same. This is also when I was starting to get into political stuff. Music design, to give you ideas, was based entirely on the Twilight Zone episodes, because I fucking hate writing lyrics. I don't know if you've come across like musicians saying, so are y'all musicians yourselves?
No.
Okay,
I just really enjoy listening to music.
Gotcha. But I hate writing lyrics, and so I'll look for like cheeky ways to like come up with song ideas and stuff. So I
imagine it's tough, man, especially with as much music as you've put out. Like it starts to get pretty tough.
Right. Well, also like you got to walk a line between being like cringy and like emotional or like I don't know. So I just hate writing lyrics. So I just copied episodes of the Twilight Zone. And then for Memes and Dreams, I was getting more into political stuff. So that's like spring. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Memes and Dreams was based on Rick and Morty. It's all Rick and Morty memes, like literally. Nice. And I would just take like monologues from the characters basically and just like chop them into lyrics. So it's entirely based on Rick and Morty. This is when the lockdown was like a big thing, or like the lyric portion when I was writing was when the lockdown was like happening. And I was watching so much Rick and Morty. I just found the TV show, and Adult Swim has like this 24-hour stream of it. And I just watched it constantly. So yeah, that's where a lot of that comes from. That's where all that comes from. Boomers, Zoomers, Desperate Coomers. I started separating them before, like I was saying, the instruments and stuff. This is when I was getting into political stuff. So there's like a good amount of politics stuff, but also at the time I didn't really know a whole lot. I just, it was like I was a baby leftist at that point. I guess the way to put it. Mm-hmm. And then Unicorn Laser added like heavier breakdowns and stuff like that, trying to get people to move whenever they would see me and such, and did more instrument separation. And this is when I got like really political, and sometimes like I'll name songs in like weird ways. I've learned this like throughout going on tour and stuff when I'm trying to announce like song titles. So like I have a song called I Eat Liberals and Shit Bullets, and if you're not a leftist, like you won't like get like the meme, I guess, how it's like saying, this is what conservatives say, and the whole song's about how conservatives are like, or this song's about how the libs suck, but like people think the libs are the left if they're like normies, so I'll get like weird reactions if I announce that. So I started to have to like what do you call it? Describe why the song's named this before I would say it. So like I would do like what was it? It's like something along the lines of libs suck and can't even pass like free healthcare or end student debt and like all this other shit. And then I would get into the song. I actually had a moment where I was in Bakersfield, California, and this is before I like really described it. I just said like fuck liberals and then got into the song. And at the end of it, I had a guy say, yeah, fuck the Democrats, Donald Trump. And I'd be like, nah, man, Trump fucking sucks. He just got indicted again. Like, what a fucking loser. And it was funny. The crowd's reaction was calling him cringe and shit like that. I thought it was great. But yeah, so I've learned that I need to like make the song titles more clear, that it can't possibly be like a right-wing thing, because even the first song of the album, right, of the EP, Obama sent the immigrants to vaccinate your guns with soy milk, and that's about like Republican propaganda and shit. But
Yeah.
like the normie hearing that, they're like, what the fuck, like, you know? So for exactly what you thought but worse than you imagine, I've like tried to keep the songs to where like people can't like mishear them or misunderstand what the meaning is and stuff. So
Yeah. That
yeah,
makes sense for
I just
sure.
went on a huge tangent. Holy shit.
No, you're good, dude. That was all interesting. You're good, dude.
But yeah, and so this time around with exactly focusing more on song structure, making it a little less insane, I guess is a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And I got really into like chat pile and like noise rock and shit. So I changed the way I do my vocals too. It's not like I guess, hold on, let me see how to explain this. Before it was more of like a scream that was like compressed and stuff, and like I would use like technique and shit. On exactly what you thought, it's more of like a yell that turns into a scream just because I'm pushing so hard, I guess is a good way to put it.
Yeah.
But like I've also turned that into a technique, so I'm still using like technique and shit. But yeah, it's like it's just a different sound. And yeah, so I feel like with that and like the way that I've changed like the actual like music, I decided that I needed to like rebrand and put out like a new logo. And yeah. So
Oh,
I don't know,
yeah,
I feel
man.
like I'm entering like a new era.
That's sick, dude. That's awesome. I mean, I'm excited to hear the album. It's all been, especially after listening through your whole discography, and just seeing what you have next is interesting to me. So
Well, hell yeah. Glad you're excited.
yeah, man.
I should have sent you guys the album. I'm kicking
It's
myself
all
now,
good, dude.
not sending you
It's
that.
all
You're
right,
good,
man.
man.
Don't worry.
Here's what I propose, man. Let's do I've got a bunch of bands wrote down, but I mean, if you say no, it's fine. But you want to do a Hot Swing Sextet interlude? Throw one of their songs on there, and then get into all these other heavy
Yeah.
bands.
Oh, they put out a new album? What the fuck? Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out. That's crazy. Anyway, so they got an album called What's Your Jive, and that's where a lot of this stuff comes from. So if you put their song, but if you put their song up against what mine ended up being, there's no shot you could ever get them like confused. So
Yeah.
I feel like when I'm explaining the writing process, it sounds like I'm plagiarizing like a band or whatever, but it's like really just like the basic thing. And like a lot of the times I'll cut up like a piece from a song and put it into another one, like
Yeah.
the way that I write songs, I do the same process I'm doing in one song, I'll do to all the songs. So like for Boomers, for example, I started with I think it was like 50 something songs. So it was just different iterations on like how their thing would translate into me copying it to guitar, I guess is a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And I would like chop up the songs and screw them together and stuff like that. So like yeah, I whenever I'm explaining it, I kind of feel like it sounds like I'm plagiarizing stuff, but I'm not. Anyway, I don't know I guess I remember the Goon Drag was a big song for me. Yeah, let's just do the Goon Drag.
Okay.
Off of what's your the band is Hot Swing Sextet. The album is What's Your Jive. They got a song called the Goon Drag,
Gotcha.
which is pretty fucking sick.
All right, now the ones I wrote down were the ones mentioned at the beginning, so like Daughters and stuff like that.
Oh my God, the opening song to what do you call it? Canada songs. What's the opening song? I forget what it's called.
Let's see.
Hold on, let's see here. That's not the one that's Beach or whatever, right?
Daughters, Hell Song, Canada Songs, Fur Beach.
Yeah. That song.
All right.
That shit's so sick. Have y'all seen the YouTube video of what is it? The what he calls himself? The something janitor. That he covered the whole Canada Songs album.
Mm.
No.
Canada Songs cover. Whenever I was looking for inspiration, I would check this out. Well, you can just look up Daughters Canada Songs full album cover. But I didn't realize this. This dude that did this is actually in his name is the Guitar Janitor, is what he calls himself. But this guy's in a band called Focusrite. Are y'all familiar with Focusrite?
Mm.
You're not? Oh, dude, I did a split with those guys. Those guys are fucking badass. You should definitely check them out. They're definitely pushing the boundaries of like what mathcore is. But yeah, I was like jamming out to this dude's shit, and I didn't realize that this was the dude in Focusrite that I was like doing a split with at the time and shit. And yeah, I thought it was funny. But anyway, I don't know how I got onto that because we're talking about Daughters, I guess. But
Yeah.
anyway, what's another band?
Next
that I
one is
mentioned?
I Wrestled the Bear Once.
I think it's Ulrich Firelord.
Yeah.
That shit's fire.
I know what
That
you're
whole
talking about.
EP's fire, but yeah, Ulrich
is.
Firelord is tight. They also did that remix song on the very end of the album.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That was fucking sick too. Ugh. Old I Wrestled the Bear Once. Holy shit.
Yeah. Dillinger Escape Plan.
Oh, you have to do 43% burnt.
All right. See you next Tuesday.
I think it's Before I Die. I'm gonna fuck up me a fish, but 1 second. Are y'all familiar with See You Next Tuesday?
I've heard of them.
I've heard of them, and I think I've listened to a few of their songs, but I haven't dove into them yet.
Yeah, we can just do Before I Die. I'm gonna fuck me a fish.
All right.
This is also where a lot of like my like dumb like song ideas came from because I saw them and I was like, dude, this is fucking sick. Just like do the dumbest song names, you know?
Yeah,
So,
dude, the song names crack me the fuck up, man.
Mm-hmm.
Next we got See You Space Cowboy.
Ooh. Well, it's definitely going to be off of Fashion Statements of the Socially Aware because that was sick. Let's just do an introduction for people who hate introductions, which is the first song off that EP. The whole EP's fire. So yeah, but
Chet Powell.
I don't know if I could tell you an exact song because just the whole album was super great. Their newest one, God's Country, that was awesome.
You mentioned Focus, right? But that might get into the next question, which is like if you have any like homies or anything you want to shout out and throw on here, any
Shout out the homies.
bands that you
Let-
like playing
Let's
with.
do
or going
Slaughterhouse for Chat Pile.
with? Okay.
Any homies? I got all kinds of homies. So one of my closest like band friends would be Cell Damage. Are you familiar with Cell Damage?
Mm-mm.
They're essentially what Heavy Lolo was back in the day.
Oh, nice.
But doing it like currently. They're from like close to LA. It's not really LA, but yeah, they're around that area. Hold on a second, let me get you a song title. I know like songs, but I don't know like what they're fucking called. You know what I mean? You run
Yeah,
into that?
yeah. Oh, yeah, all the time, man. Thanks for like music streaming. Nobody looks down at their phone. They just listen to the music.
Exactly. Cell Damage, The Sun, the Moon, the Stars, and Mars. It's probably not their best song, but it's like their catchiest one, I guess. And like, I don't know. I just every time I heard that when we were out on tour, it was just I don't know, it's just magic.
Yeah.
You guys are fucking awesome. And then Blind Tiger is another band that I've become good friends with that we got to shout out. They got a song called Abbeville. So it starts with the letters A and B, and whenever you just randomly start your like iPhone or whatever in your car, it'll go by if you're like doing like not like if you don't have a song pulled up, it'll just start doing alphabetical order.
Yeah.
So for the longest time, it would just start out with that song Abbeville playing. And it's such a good song. Ugh. Blind Tiger is great. They deserve way more appreciation than they've gotten. Let's see here if this. I mean, there's a lot of bands that like I'm good friends with or whatever. I'm just like, if a band is listening to this that I've like done shit with, I don't mean anything like bad against
Don't
you
take it
or
personal,
whatever.
right?
I'm just not trying to like put every single band that I've had,
Right.
No, you're
with,
good. Yeah, you're good.
Um, yeah, those are like the two that I've like
That's
been
fine,
out with
yeah.
the longest. You know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
I should probably just keep it there.
All right, that'll work, man. And Adam, you got any more questions?
No, I do
No?
not.
All right. Before we move on to the wrapping this thing up, dude, do you have any like things that you're currently enjoying listening to? It could be new bands, it could be like revisiting older stuff. It doesn't matter, just stuff that you've been listening to last couple of weeks.
So, real quick, just wanted to shout out some bands that have put out some cool stuff recently. Lower Automation did a new album. Cell Damage did a new album. Uh, who else is it? Blind Tiger just put out a single that people need to be checking out. Um, God, there's so many bands that are dropping shit too.
Yeah.
Uh, Finn put out a sick album this year. Um, this is where I'm trying to shout out the homies, and now I'm drawing a blank. But I know there's been a lot of cool stuff. Um, in terms of like what am I currently listening to? So I don't listen to a lot of music to be completely honest. I
Mhm.
usually listen to like podcasts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a guy named Hassan Piker. Y'all familiar with him?
Yeah.
Oh, you are? Okay, sick. I actually have a lot of Hassan quotes like in my songs and stuff. But yeah, I watch his broadcast like almost every day, and so I'm listening to
Nice.
stuff like that mostly. But when I do listen to music, it's not really like metal, I guess. So like I said, I love oldies. Oldies are fire. And there's a band called The Gathering. Are y'all familiar with The Gathering?
No.
No, I
They're
don't think
from
so.
I want to say they're from Norway. It's some European nation in that area.
Okay.
But they actually started out as a doom death band, which is hilarious because now they're like an indie rock band and they're so fucking good. Oh my god, they're like one of my favorite bands of all time. We've definitely got to put a song in there. Let's say Pale Traces. They have a song called Pale Traces. We could put that on the playlist. Should also do a Pink Floyd song because I'm a big Pink Floyd head. Let's just do Time is a really good one. Let's go with Time. And I'm also a big Beatles guy. That one's way harder to pick. Something holy shit.
Mhm.
Let's just do Help. Help's a good song. Good one that everyone can get behind. But yeah, so it's like stuff like that is what I like jam whenever I'm really jamming music. I find also that like if you listen to like heavy shit all the time, like I don't know, you get put in you put like your what do you call it? Your inspiration, I guess, is like in one box with all like the same sounding
Yeah,
stuff. That it's
yeah,
hard
for
hard to
sure.
like reach out and get new things. So yeah. It's not that I'm doing it specifically for that, but that's part of it too.
No, yeah, for sure. We're doing this. I mean, like I said, we're almost like 60 episodes in, and there hasn't been a single playlist where it's all just one band. Everybody
Oh, yeah, not
derives
at all.
inspirations from everywhere. So they're, these playlists are just wild, dude.
Hell
And
yeah.
it's shit like listening to your shit, I never would have pictured it like I mean, I'm sure it's not shit that you listen to nowadays, but even still, like Green Day and like the Killers. You said you love the
Oh,
fucking Killers, which
Green
is
Day's
like
still
insane.
sick. Green Day's sick,
You know?
dude. The Killers are so fire, man.
Yeah, like that shit like that. It's like this, being like a mathcore, like heavy fucking mathcore project and fucking jamming out to some the Killers is, that's not, and that's the kind of shit that I enjoy on the playlist, shit that out of left field. So,
Hell yeah.
and what do you use to listen to music with? Spotify or Apple
Oh,
Music?
pretty much YouTube, I guess.
Okay.
I'm not subscribed to like Spotify or anything like that.
Gotcha.
But when I'm driving along, I'll put
I'm
YouTube
not
on.
familiar with like YouTube Music, but is there a way you can give us like the last song that you listened to?
Oh, um, oh, I know what it was. It's so stupid. I've had the Backstreet Boys tearing up my heart, stuck in my head for the last week. I don't know why it's there and why I can't get it out, but I get tearing up my heart when I'm with. Oh my god, it's so catchy, and I'm sorry I just infected all of you guys with that. So yeah, that was the last song that I listened to.
That's amazing. That's a great song to close the playlist with, man.
Hell yeah.
Adam, you want to do the wrap up stuff? Like get the two songs.
Let's get two of your own songs. We'll open the playlist with one, and we'll close the playlist with one.
But your new album is going to be out, so if you want both of them to be off your new album, that's fine too.
So. Also, yeah, we could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we should probably do that. At least the new single for the beginning.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what the next single is. I think I know what it's going to be, but yeah. I guess I could tell you here because it's going to be out. Yeah, let's just go with it. Crack Smoking Demon Possessed Leftist should be the other one.
Right.
Actually, that song's special because I got basically the mathcore community involved with it. I put out a post telling people to send me them saying it's not the quote, it's the breakdown, I guess. Screaming what goes over the breakdown, and it's crack smoking demon possessed leftist. And so I got like 25 submissions, I think, to try to do like gang vocals or whatever. So yeah, that song's kind of special because it's got like the whole community involved.
That's hilarious.
An amount of the community.
Since you have so many songs, let's do one more. Give me one more of your songs, and I'll throw that like in the middle, and then it would be one of these older songs, just for like
an older one. Yeah. Do y'all have a song that you like or whatever?
There was.
I have to go back.
No, I got you. It's putting you on the spot. I hate it when bands do that to me when I was doing the podcast. So probably should have done.
Well, especially since I listened to it at work today, so your song names are hilarious.
Let's just do one of the ones that's like a banger. This is what everybody likes at the show. This is how you're gonna know if people are gonna mosh to this set or whatever. Tesla Stock cured my erectile dysfunction.
Yeah, that one's a good one, or the Bernie Sanders one. I remember that one.
Oh, which one had the Trailer Park Boys quote in it?
Oh, that's an old one.
I fucking love Trailer Park Boys.
I want to say it was off of Roses. Hold on. I think it's just the beginning, the first song of Roses, right? Hold on. Yeah. Sorry, dude. I think we fucked up. Yeah. It's the first song off of Roses. When God put teeth in your mouth, he ruined a perfectly good asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, that fucking song, man. I love the Trailer Park Boys so much.
Me too.
Hell yeah. No, they're great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Adam, you want to continue? We'll throw the crack smoking demon leftist one.
Yeah. And then lastly, dude, just shout out your social media handles so people can go, find you and keep up with you. I know you do live shows and stuff. So, maybe people can go check you out, check out your show.
And when this comes out, I'll probably be on tour also. So you should definitely check that out. I'm doing it's 64 days out around the whole US. So come check that out. I'm also going to be doing another tour. I'm in the planning stages now for December. Going to be doing a Midwest thing. It's just the Sound That Ends creation everywhere. If you look it up on anything, you'll find it like that.
All right, man. We're excited to see your stuff. Go pick up some merch. Where can everybody buy the merch at?
The Sound That Ends creation.bandcamp.com. When I'm on tour, I'm probably going to pause everything. I'm not totally sure. So yeah, you might not even be able to buy anything when this comes out.
Yeah.
But
go to a show. That's how you buy stuff.
Definitely go to the show. Yeah.
If you want merch, go to the show.
Yeah.
Where's that tour going to be taking place at?
So that one, that's 64 days, is going to be around the whole US, just kind of following the coast.
So he's coming near you. All right.
Oh yeah.
All right, man. Well, hell yeah, dude. Dude, we really greatly appreciate you giving us your time today, man.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me on. You're awesome.
No problem, man. And thank you, and I'll be in touch and everything, man. And yeah, man, we'll talk to you later.
It sounds good.
All right, later, man.
See you
later.